Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. If this is the first time that you are seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. I can't lie, it feels so bloody good to say that again. I am so excited to see you all. It has been a long time between readings. It feels like a privilege and an honor to be back here today. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who is watching, whether you are returning, whether you are new. Thank you so much for this energy exchange. It feels beautiful to be here. We are going to be doing a pick a group reading today, as you can tell. The topic of today's reading is what don't you see coming? The idea behind this is to give you as much information and guidance about what could be happening behind the scenes for you at this moment in time, helping maybe ease some concerns and anxiousness about where the future is headed, while also painting a picture of the choices and the opportunities that you have coming your way. On top of that, we are going to take this topic further by doing an extended reading portion where I'll be taking the extended readings on my website into what you don't see coming in love specifically. I know there's a lot of you that have been waiting for a love reading. I personally love love readings as well. I love doing them. So I wanted to give that option for those who wish to extend. If the first part of your reading does resonate, you're more than welcome to join me in the extended reading. It's a good way to support my channel, and it's also a good way to kind of get more specific answers because the extended readings are usually a lot smaller in terms of the amount of people that end up watching them. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description box. Otherwise, let me introduce you to today's groups. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, give you a really good look at what is going on. Now, before I introduce these groups, I really want you to take time to tune into the main reason as to why you clicked on this reading, even if it was just because you wanted to check in with me. Remember that the topic of today's video is what don't you see coming? Think about why you may have consciously or subconsciously clicked on this reading. Try to settle into a clear intention or at least a clear feeling. Is there a specific question you have in mind? Is there a specific situation you are seeking clarity on? Is there a specific reason this reading called out for you? If there is, take time to think of that specific reason or intention before selecting a group today. While I let this image stay on the screen, I just want to quickly go through what you can expect in each of these readings. So we have 3 groups to choose from. Each group will be exploring what you don't see coming. I'll be pulling oracle cards, which will be pre-shuffled off camera. Through the oracle cards, we're going to explore some intuitive meanings of what Spirit would like you to know about your path ahead. I will then be pulling messages from my oracle guidebooks as well, 2 specific guidebooks which are very insightful and filled with a lot of intuitive wisdom. I'll then be getting more specific predictions through tarot, where we will again ask the question, what don't you see coming? Tarot will help reveal things to a finer kind of specification, for lack of a better word. But it will also hopefully confirm some of the things that you've started to think about and reflect on when I pulled the oracle cards. So to close your reading after tarot, we'll be getting advice to make sure that you feel well equipped and with information and guidance before closing your reading and taking it into the extended. So that is what you can expect in each of the 3 groups. Let me introduce the groups to you now. Starting with group number 1, you will have the rough rose quartz crystal. If you are attracted to this crystal, you will be a part of group 1 reading. The crystals are all rose quartz, but they're all different styles of rose quartz. So this is a raw rose quartz crystal. It has not been polished or refined. It has just been chiseled away from its host rock and sold to me at a very fine price. So if you feel drawn to this crystal, you'll be a part of group 1's reading. Please ignore my nails. I've had a crazy week and I've been slowly falling apart and pulling myself back together. So second, we have group number 2's crystal, the rose quartz crystal heart. Group 2's crystal is very polished, very very refined. It has not only been shaped, but it's also been polished into this shiny piece of heart that you see in front of you. Still rose quartz though, so if you feel drawn to this rose quartz crystal, you will be a part of group 2's reading. And last but not least, we have group 3's crystal, the rose quartz crystal tower. This crystal tower has a very similar, like they all kind of have a very similar sort of coloring, but you kind of see a little bit more of that natural crystal in this tower because of all the facets. So there's a lot to absorb in this crystal in terms of imagery and impurities. Do pause the video throughout this part of the video if you need to kind of study the crystals a bit further. But if you do feel drawn to this crystal specifically, then you'll be a part of group 3's reading. It had a bit of hard time focusing there. But those are the 3 groups, you guys. When you know which of these 3 groups you feel most called to, be sure to click on the timestamps in the description box and join me in your reading. If you do need more time choosing a group, you're more than welcome to pause it right here, right now. Or you may choose to actually join me in the 1-minute meditation portion of this reading, which will be playing right after this clip. That meditation was created by myself about 1.5 years ago now. It's been a while. And I created that meditation with the intention of connecting you with your intuition and kind of guiding you to select a group intuitively. It only goes for a minute. If you do need that extra help, keep watching. Otherwise, I shall see you in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hi group 1 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the raw rose quartz crystal, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to put your crystal over there for now. In your readings today, we're going to be asking Spirit, what don't you see coming? What is happening that you cannot see? I will be focusing on love in the extended reading as well. So if you find that this portion of the reading resonates and you'd like to join me in the extended reading, please check the links in the description box. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to lay out your oracle cards, starting with this beautiful Rumi oracle. We have the courage of your love, number 38, coming through. We also have priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? I actually want to pull one more card from that deck. What don't group 1 see coming? Can I get one more card from this deck for group 1, please, Spirit? What don't group 1 see coming? What don't group 1 see coming, Spirit? What don't group 1 see coming? There we go. We have Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? That's interesting. The back of the deck is the Leap card. You go first, the universe will catch you. And then from this beautiful deck, we have Antimatter coming out. And we also have Relativity, E equals MC squared. Let me bring my crystals closer. So group one, the first thing I'm noticing is like all the blues in your reading. It feels like what you don't see coming is either clarity or the opportunity to express yourself. I think communication will be important, but I think your actions are even more important. You may have the opportunity to take action towards something that you really want. And the reason why I think you really want it is because this could be something that you were actually stressing about, that you were anxious about, that you were nervous about, that you had been overthinking previously. I do see a more masculine energy in your energy in the near future. And I think what you don't see coming is that you are going to have the opportunity to take more action, especially if you've been feeling stuck or if you feel like things have kind of taken a slow turn. I feel like antimatter is here to say there's something about what's happening behind the scenes that is really creating like a building blocks of where you are headed to next. We see it as something that has been subtracting and taking from us, but actually it's been creating space for us to move forward, for us to see enough of a void to take action and to appreciate what is meaningful to us. It almost makes me think that if something had not been taken away, you wouldn't have realized that what you really wanted, if that makes sense. I think with the E equals MC squared relativity card, there is this strong feeling of, well, to be honest with you, when somebody says relativity, I think of like how applicable that is to our present situation, and how as time goes on, as interests develop, as circumstances change, relativity changes too, and the importance of certain things change. So I wonder if what you don't see coming is that you're going to get this sort of aha moment where things start to make a lot more sense, because what you feel was missing is going to come through and kind of fill in the gaps. On top of that, though, I do want to kind of pull a message from the deck on this card, because I feel like there's something else there that my 3D brain cannot tune into right now. I'm hearing motion and movement, but I just don't know where it's coming from. Motion and movement. It all depends. Ever-changing system of reference, shifts of perspective, putting situations and people in the relevant context. Had it happened sooner, it might not have mattered to you as much. Had it happened later, it might not have mattered to you as much. I think it only matters so much now because of the timing, because of how everything has kind of fallen into place and kind of given way to this opportunity. If we say that 4 minutes is not much time, we immediately come into contact with relativity. What for? What are we comparing it to? What if we are talking about finishing a race? Logically, 4 minutes would not be much time. If we are talking about holding your breath, 4 minutes is an eternity. Being in paradise passed like a blink of an eye, while living in hell felt like an eternity. So it all depends. It feels like you're having the opportunity to either compare a situation, or you're having the opportunity to see how it is kind of coming full circle, and how it something is all like adding up, and its importance is adding up. I do see physical travel for you. I think what you don't see coming is that your journey is definitely taking you to new places. I can see new experiences, and I can definitely feel like you're going to realize that there's one specific direction that you're currently being pulled towards. And this could have to do with physical travel, but it definitely has to do with some physical changes. I think that you may need to take the lead on this with the Priestess card. You may need to step up and sort of speak your truth, or assume a more action-orientated initiative sort of position. especially with the courage of your love being in the middle. That makes me think of action, having courage, especially when faced with adversity. But this Rumi card has a lot more messages in the deck as well, so please don't mind me while I pull some of those for you before we get tarot. Sorry, group one, we were just interrupted by Yoda. He's been barking so much, it's actually stressing me out. But I've gotten rid of his presence for now. I miss Kirk's presence, to be honest with you. Kirk was a full-on, what's the best word? Like, familiar. He brought such a calmness to these readings. All right, so the courage of your love. Love is without reason. Rationality is like a cane. Judgment needs a cane because it is blind. When love arrives, thought dies in its shadow. Love is the sunrise, while thought is only a flashing light. So this does make me think that you have been overthinking the situation, that your thought process has been kind of curbing how you feel and maybe even suppressing some of your deeper feelings. You may have rationalized some of the things that you could not explain, and this process could have really created a lot of limitations in terms of the emotional depth of the situation that you're experiencing. When we rationalize everything, we take away the beautiful, unexplainable ability to just feel the moment and subjectively immerse yourself in the experience. We all feel differently. So no two people have the same experience, even if we technically experience the same event. So I feel like this card is encouraging you, well, is saying to you that in the future, what you don't see coming is that there is this strong feeling of you being able to curb some of the fears or some of the stresses you've had by being able to embrace your feelings, by being able to go with what you are feeling instead of giving in to what you fear or what you have been overthinking. But let us get some tarot out now. Spirit, for group one, what don't they see coming? What doesn't group one see coming? What doesn't group one see coming? Group one, please, Spirit. What doesn't group one see coming? We have the Knight of Cups in the reverse position. We also have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. What doesn't group one see coming, Spirit? We have the Nine of Swords reversed. What doesn't group one see coming? We have the Empress upright. One more card. What doesn't group one see coming, Spirit? We have the Six of Swords in the reverse position. And let us take a peek at the bottom deck energies. We have the World card in the reverse position. So I swear not all these cards are reversed, but for some reason you guys got a lot of reversals. So let's talk about this, shall we? I feel like something has happened recently that has made you lose hope and faith in the direction that your journey is taking you. There's something that has really kind of made your confidence dwindle a little bit, and it's made you feel as though you are moving backwards or you're getting stuck in a repetitive cycle or pattern. The thing about your energy is you have to go through the period that you're currently in to appreciate what you're about to receive. It does have to do with relativity. It's that horrible life lesson of, well, if you didn't have the lows, you wouldn't appreciate the highs. And that is the truth of this relative position position that you're in. With the World card reversed, there is a genuine life lesson here. It's a huge karmic cycle, and it does seem to have to do with your self-love and honoring your sense of worth based on the experiences you have, based on the people you share your time with, and based on how much worth and how much you kind of pit your worth against those things, against your experiences, against the people you interact with. I can see here with the Knight of Cups reversed that some of you are failing to see how there is a feeling here of someone not being able to kind of progress forward due to a fear blocking their emotions. And I feel like what you don't see is this fear is the driving force for any delays you're experiencing, any blockages you're experiencing emotionally. The thing is, if this fear is coming from someone else, it does feel like it's the kind of fear that we have to let them process. And if this fear is coming from us, it is something that we ourselves need to process instead of projecting it onto other people and saying it's their fault. I do wonder with the Knight of Cups reversed if there has been a sort of a feeling of having your feelings hurt or being let down by the actions of someone else, by somebody else not wanting to make us a priority, or because the Knight of Cups is reversed, it almost feels like we're taking their actions personally. The thing about this is we have the Page of Pentacles next to it, so there is a feeling of someone trying to level up here. And I do believe that if you resonate with the message of feeling let down by somebody else's lack of actions or getting offended by their actions, I do believe that this individual is doing the best that they can, and I think that they're learning a lot about the kind of person they want to be, and they are in their own way processing how to be more mature and how to handle these situations better in the future. Now, if you resonate more as you yourself having emotional blockages due to fears, then I see with the Page of Pentacles reversed that this is something that we need to address in order to attract a more compatible emotional relationship. There seems to be a blockage here in emotional security, and I think for a Page of Pentacles to be next to it, it's usually due to a lack of experience or a lack of exposure, or just feeling like we're trapped in immature patterns of behavior that are limiting our experiences. So I do think that what you don't see is these things are all temporary, they're fixable, and they are things that once you address them, you don't just sort of clear the way energetically, but you allow yourself to be very, very open to progress. And I could see how things could move quite quickly if you were more aware, or at least kind of you reminded yourself more about these blockages if they are on your shoulders. If they are blockages from somebody else, I do think that being more aware of what this person is going through and that they are trying their hardest could help to make these blockages more relative, and you can kind of go, well, actually, the situation could be worse and I'm not going to take this as personally as I should. I also have a message for those who have been let down by a romantic partner. I do believe that this is falling apart for a reason, and I think that with the Nine of Swords reversed, it's about trying to make peace with the present situation. For all of you, the Nine of Swords reversed is about you trying not to get carried away with the what ifs in your mind and finding ways to soothe your anxiousness and your overthinking, your intrusive thinking. I can see how with the Nine of Swords reversed, there is a strong feeling here of trying to detach from the outcome to save yourself the possibility of things not working out as you had hoped. And then the other reason why I think this Nine of Swords is reversed is because what you don't see coming is that the worst case scenario isn't going to happen. You're actually going to be pleasantly surprised at how things turn out. You may have theorized and rationalized the situation to be something quite more, like a lot more extreme than what it actually is. I believe with the Empress being here, group one, what you don't see coming is you are going to get to a point very, very soon where you feel incredibly grateful for the progress that you you've made and very aware of what you deserve and how you deserve to be treated. There is a strong sense of being self-aware here and being able to recognize how you are the one with the Midas touch. If a situation isn't growing the way that you expect, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to move your fertile energy into fertile soil. So I do see with the Empress that what you don't see coming is you will not only have the opportunity to reconcile some of your less rational fears, but you will also have the opportunity to grow more very, very soon. And if this isn't just a sense of self, it is also about how you want to take what you have and grow it into something else. I can see with the Empress the opportunity to be more abundant than what you are currently. This does also look like other forms of fertility. So for those who are interested in having children and maybe you haven't received a lot of positive signs of things going well or working well for you, I do think that that will shift for the Empress to be here. The Empress card is the peak or the pinnacle of fertility and growth, so it's a very positive omen if you are looking at having children or expanding your family. Now, with the Six of Swords reversed, I think that what you don't see coming is that you will have the opportunity to have a conversation about the past, but it is all relative. That line just keeps coming up. This feels like the part where you need courage to speak your truth and where you need to have courage to speak from your heart and to not get too in your head. You have to use this opportunity to communicate, but don't rationalize. Be very connected to how you feel in order to say your authentic truth. I believe with the Six of Swords reversed that this conversation does have a lot to do with the past, but it could also have a lot to do with the future. Where are we going from here? How do I want my future to look? How do we want our future to look if you're talking to somebody else about a shared future? The goal here seems to be movement in general for this group, as Spirit's main message is what you don't see coming is that you are being called to step up and lead. What has been taken from you is actually building you and creating opportunities for you to grow further. You will need to have courage to express your honest feelings very soon without over-rationalizing them. And you will also need to be open about where this journey is taking you. You could be experiencing something outside of a comfort zone, and you may need to stay open without being too fearful and too afraid to the point where you say no out of fear and you hold yourself back out of fear. All experiences are relative to what you have previously experienced. So remember that when you take on new challenges and when you experience new challenges, these new opportunities are going to make a lot more sense because of what you've been through. You're going to be very, very grateful for the highs you're yet to experience because of what you have been through. So let's get some closing advice for you with my beautiful Wild Unknown Tarot deck. This is my advice deck at the moment. I've been using it for nearly everyone, to be honest with you. So let's have a look. Group 1, please, Spirit. What is the closing advice for Group 1? Ooh. Not the Seven of Cups coming out for you in the reverse position. Can I get another card? What is the advice for Group 1? We have the Daughter of Swords reverse. This is the Page of Swords. What is the advice for Group 1? We have the Chariot upright. And at the back of the deck, we have the Sun of Wands reverse. Spirit is saying the thing about your energy, sweets, is you have this throat chakra energy about your group. What you don't see coming is a lot of action, a lot of communication, especially if you've been ruminating on these thoughts and kind of just holding on to them as fears. I can see through this advice that you may be spoilt for choice in the road ahead. And the truth of it is There's only one thing that you really want from an emotional place. There's only one thing that your heart wants. So stay tuned to that feeling. Stay true to that feeling and honor how you feel as you make choices and as you move forward. Good things aren't going to happen overnight for you because it feels like the goal here isn't to be impulsive with the Sun of Wands reversed and the Daughter of Swords reversed. Avoid saying things impulsively. Make sure that you communicate from your heart space. Make sure that you take action based on your emotional integrity. Don't do things from a petty place or a spiteful place or a bitter place. Sit with that energy and tune into your heart space before you take action and before you communicate. And that's really what I'm seeing for you, my beautiful group ones. I hope this was a helpful reading for you. I'm going to take this into the extended now, where we will have a look at what you don't see coming towards you in love specifically. If you would like to join me in the extended reading, the link is in the description box, as I mentioned. I also have my extended readings available for my Amethyst Hermie members. So if you are an Amethyst Hermie member on my website, you will have access to all the extended readings in today's video. Take advantage of that. Thank you so much, Group 1, for all of your support. I wish you so much love and light on your journey. Keep seeking your truth, should I say, and I will connect with you in another video. Bye. Hi Group 2 and welcome to your reading. Oh my god, I just got so excited to see you. I feel like I'm gonna cry. That's so bizarre. So lovely to have you here. If I know you personally, please let me know because that was overwhelming. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? It's been a while since I've filmed. Maybe I'm just excited to see you. Let's get into it, Group 2. If you chose this beautiful heart-shaped rose quartz crystal, then this is going to be your reading. I'm gonna put your little crystal over here. In today's reading, we are asking Spirit, what don't you see coming? There is also going to be an extended reading in which we will ask Spirit, what don't you see coming in love specifically? So if this part of the reading resonates and you would like to extend it further, the link to your extended reading will be in the description box. Go on and check it out. But anyway, to get there, we have to start here. So as you can see, I have pre-shuffled some oracle cards for you. I have also, what am I trying to say? I also have like the bottom deck energies around me. I'm so frazzled. I don't know what it is, Group 2. I also have your bottom deck energies around me. So I'm going to be pivoting off those and introducing you to those if needed throughout your reading. But without over explaining much more, let us have a look at your cards. So the first card we have is from our Rumi Oracle deck, Celestial Rose of MA, number 10. Interesting. Ooh. Something about that card feels like a heart, like a human heart, you know, like a bleeding heart. Well, look, we have a heart next to it as well. We have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. I can see a new house for some of you. Moving, relocating. We have Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? So yeah, that card did come out for another group as well, but in your case, it feels like a physical move. It feels like some of y'all are getting the opportunity to change locations and potentially visit some new places. The thing about birthing a new age, Group 2, anyway, I'm not supposed to talk about this yet, but I will while it's on the dome. I see how one small change could lead to a lot of change for you, because it feels like we may just be thinking, oh, you know, we're just moving and it's only down the road. But I could see how this could be the start of like a new lifestyle, or things taking a positive turn for you and really getting to the point where you're able to see, what's the best way to word it? Other opportunities and other possibilities. It's that idea of your cone of awareness expanding. And when you know what's out there, when you're being exposed to new environments, you start to want new things and you start to take on new interests and you start to get curious about things you may not have thought of before. But without talking about that for much longer, let's introduce the rest of your cards. We have Wormhole coming out for you, and we also have Cosmic Ether. This was technically reversed, so I will keep that in mind. The interesting thing about this deck is that you got all black cards. The deck is black and white. There's one color card in there, and even your bottom deck energy is black. So I don't take that as a coincidence. I think that is very intentional, group 2. The Celestial Rose of Ma feels like the point of all creation. I definitely can see a new creation for you. I see new creative pursuits for those of you who are creatives, who are out here trying to create new projects and share your art with those around you. I can also see new roads, and honestly, sweets, it feels like this could be the start of something quite big. It feels like this is like entrepreneurial energy, because what I'm seeing is basically limitless possibilities for you. I'm seeing how you could possibly get the chance to keep moving forward after you start developing a path that feels quite lucrative. As you progress with Imrama here, you're going to feel more sure of the road you want to take, but I can see you trying and opening quite a few things before you find what is defined as your purpose. I genuinely believe that this group is going to take on some very new endeavors very soon, but the beautiful thing about all of this is you don't see it coming. You're not actively recognizing how all of the effort and hard work you've been putting into your path is going to take you into this beautiful new beginning. And for some of you, the hard work that you've been putting in is very specific to like a certain area of your life, but I feel like the effects in a positive way are going to impact so much more than what you've originally focused on. I genuinely feel like this is the kind of group that when you dream, you should dream big, because your energy is very high vibrational, group 2, and you're like a receptor for opportunity right now, especially with the wormhole here. What we know of wormholes is that they can act as portals. You go in one way, it's hard to come back the other way. So I think that what you don't see coming is the road that you're on is not only going to be apparently filled with opportunity, but one that is going to be very much a one-way street. And I don't mean that in a scary way. I just feel like once you level up, you stay up, group 2. Now, I do want to read some messages from the guidebooks of these cards, specifically from this deck and this deck. So let's start with our beautiful Rumi Oracle, the number 10. Celestial Rose of Ma. So there's a little poem here that I really want to read for you. The main message Spirit has for you is that a spiritual gift is on its way to you. The taste of bitterness becomes sweetness in love. The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. Love transforms thistles into jasmine. Love layers heaven and gifts us with wings to soar into its mystery. Love transforms our every thought into a desire of the heart. O love, how divine is your luring. Beauty flows from your unseen face. Your very nature is radiant with joy. You manifest vibrant hues in every flower. Your touch dazzles all creation. Every particle is attracted toward you, longing to unite and dwell in you. And sweet soul, you feel like you embody this energy to me. Like, yes, there's a lot of love here, but it feels like it's coming from you. It feels like you're not just a magnet, but you're like a charger that other people, other things are drawn to kind of have what you have. And I do see this as being highly vibrational. I don't see this as me needing to warn you of energy vampires. I feel like if anything, you should definitely see this as a huge bonus and as something that is helping you attract exactly what you want and exactly what you deserve. I'm realizing I'm being very profound and I'm not being specific at this point. So we will be getting tarot after this to get more specific and to have a detailed look at what you don't see coming. But I do have more messages in this deck for you, starting with Cosmic Ether, please, Spirit. The enigma that only you can solve, controversy, a delicate and light element of full purity. I was supposed to show you those cards closer, sorry. Here's Cosmic Ether. It is the fifth element after fire, earth, water, and air, complete transparency. It has always been considered a mysterious element, and although few have defined it, many have spoken about it. Plato called it the most translucent kind of air. In India, it is referred to by the Sanskrit word akasha, which means a sacred place. The ether has always been very controversial, so we will honor this here by saying that nowadays this hypothesis is now obsolete in astronomy. Notwithstanding, Albert Einstein himself said the following: by denying the existence of the ether, we are assuming that there are no physical properties within empty space. The fundamentals of quantum mechanics are not aligned with this perspective. We may say that according to the general theory of relativity, space is endowed with physical qualities. In this sense, therefore, there exists an ether. According to the general theory of relativity, space without ether is unthinkable. Wow. I feel like I just need to marinate in those juicy words. But is seeing believing, or is believing seeing? That's so, listen, you're freaking me out now. You're freaking me out, you cosmic celestial being, you. Sometimes we look for answers and return with millions more questions. Literally. Oh my days. I need to close this because I wasn't ready. Wait a minute, we have one more card to read. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. That's the kind of thing that I just want to marinate on for hours, but we don't have that time. So please take notes and journal the main passages that stood out to you, because there is something personal there in terms of reflection. But in terms of what you don't see coming, sweets, your opportunities are endless, limitless. You are very much in a position of creation, and I don't want you to see this as like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Just see it as the universe is working with you to ensure that you are attracting exactly what you deserve, and that you are able to receive exactly what you deserve too. So keep doing what you're doing. With Wormhole here, this card is talking about the unfolding of time in this deck. So entering a wormhole is a powerful shortcut. So what you don't see coming with this wormhole is definitely a shortcut. I didn't really explain that well though, did I? I just kind of said that once you go in, you don't come out. It is far quicker than the time it would take us to do something conventionally. Enjoy this shortcut in time that can quickly bring a paradigm shift. So I do feel like it's quite significant, this shift. I don't think that it's just a simple one and done thing. I feel like the shifts that you're going to be experiencing are so profound, they will have very big changes on your lifestyle. But let's talk more about that. Spirit, what doesn't Group 2 see coming? What doesn't Group 2 see coming? We have the Five of Swords upright. What doesn't Group 2 see coming? We have the Page of Cups reversed. What else doesn't Group 2 see coming? We have the Four of Pentacles upright. I have some beautiful music playing in the background, so if you can hear noises, sometimes it makes it through the noise filter that I put on my microphones. That's what's going on. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful, literally. What else? Oh, we have the Emperor. Hello. I just heard, welcome, puppy. Wait, please, please. We also have Justice at the back of the deck in the upright position. So the thing about that Justice card, Group 2, is it is bringing you balance, and it is bringing you a sense of harmony. But I also feel for some of you, it's bringing you a whole relationship. I do see Justice as overall like balance and this idea of things being able to balance out. But I would be naive to assume that that's all it is for you. I do think that for some of you, a partnership could be very important, and what you maybe don't see coming is a favorable win-win outcome for you in a relationship setting as well. Personally, that could also look like legal fees working out for you, a favorable outcome in terms of like a government process that you've been going through, or some sort of procedure that you've had to follow. I can see it working out in your favor. Now, with the Five of Swords being here, I think the overarching theme for you is balance and this idea of karmic justice. Like, this kind of energy doesn't come to people who haven't had a lot to prove. I feel like you've been through your fair share of struggles and turning points. And the Five of Swords tells me that any form of misdirection is going to be water off a duck's back for you. You're going to be able to navigate a situation that would have previously been very challenging by using communication and your clarity, wisdom even, that you've gained along the way in your journey to get to where you need to be. The thing about you, sweets, is I can still see you processing certain behaviors or even people and your relationships with them that may have been keeping you feeling kind of held back. The Page of Cups reversed almost feels like someone who isn't able to continue moving forward with you. It feels like someone who may be experiencing stunted growth, or who may feel like they aren't able to experience things at your level. And so I do wonder if you moving forward is also about you accepting that some people need to stay behind and that you can't take everyone on this journey with you. This does feel more like a sibling or a peer, someone who you may feel you have to compartmentalize and they must remain at a certain point in your journey while you move forward. That being said, I can see you having some tricky conversations with the people around you about the choices that you're making and about the things that you want to pursue. I can also see with the Four of Pentacles upright that a lot of you are going to be realizing that in order to gain more, you have to be open to losing a little bit. And the thing about this Four of Pentacles is it is a strong sense of having a frugal mentality, having a lack mentality, and that doesn't align with what you don't see coming. What you don't see coming is you're going to have so much to hold on to that you really shouldn't be clinging on to any one thing, especially this Four of Pentacles. I feel like what you don't see coming is that you will have a certain level of stability amidst all of this growth and all of this potential, but you also need to be open to it in the first place. So some of you may be resistant towards the changes that are being offered to you, and you may choose to cling on to what you have been kind of settling for. I also feel, though, that with the Wheel of Fortune here, there's only so much that you can do to stop the way that the wheel is turning, because I can almost see the Wheel of Fortune being a temptation for you, something that's very, very, very attractive and something that looks like it's too good to pass on. So while you may have been trying to hold on to the way things are and to maintain a certain level of stability, I think that you're going to be tempted with the best possible outcome, and it's going to be very hard for you to say no, group 2. The creation that you're birthing, it feels like it has to do with you taking on more responsibility and maybe even needing to share the load with somebody else and entering a sort of partnership with somebody else in order to get further ahead. While for others of you, this could be you creating more opportunities to experience, which in turn looks like you needing to let go and be more open and be more available, especially with the Four of Pentacles. It's almost like you need to free up your time, or you need to free up your resources, or you need to kind of be a little bit more open to taking risks in order to progress. And the Emperor is like that. The Emperor loves stability, but the Emperor loves to progress. And in order to progress, the Emperor balances and manages risk, knowing exactly how much to take and how much to risk. So I do believe that what you don't see coming is some of you may have been avoiding this, but you will be taking on more responsibility and more risk within a controlled setting. You will in turn have more control over your path and how things are progressing. Some of you may get to the point where you feel very, very responsible, even responsible for somebody else outside of yourself, but you will handle this well. What you don't see coming is that any changes that involve you taking on more responsibility, you will handle with ease. It will come to you naturally. I feel like you have leadership qualities, sweets. I just don't know if you believe that or if you've had the opportunity to explore that in depth. So to close your reading, group 2, I am going to get you some advice from this deck. My throat just decided to stop. Let me get some water. What is the advice for group 2, please, Spirit, in this situation? What is the advice on what they don't see coming? We have the Two of Swords upright. What is the advice for group 2 in terms of what they don't see coming? We also have the Father of Cups upright. And we have the Daughter of Wands reversed. As our bottom deck energy, we have the Devil card reversed. Oy vey. Let me just lean back into this. It's the benefit of having a microphone attached to me. I don't have to stay so forward. This advice, group 2, how do we feel about it? The Devil card reversed. I feel like your biggest advice is to let yourself experience and to let yourself do things that are outside of your comfort zone. And the way that I see it is some of y'all are being way too cautious. Some of y'all are being way too pragmatic, way too like, I can't do that. I have responsibilities. I can't do that. That's just not me. And the thing about a Devil card reversed is it is about trying something for the first time. And then when you know it's not for you, you can turn around and say, nah, not going to do that again. I almost feel like this idea of temptation for you is actually just life trying to engage with you. It's not a bad thing, and it's especially not going to turn into an addiction or something that is unhealthy, especially if you have previously battled with unhealthy behaviors and addiction previously. I think that your advice is to trust yourself more and to trust that you can play devil's advocate safely when it comes to steering yourself through new experiences. I think with the Two of Swords upright, your advice here is to appreciate how when it comes to making decisions in the future, especially the near future, there are a lot of things that you can never possibly know 100%. There's always going to be enigmas. There's always going to be voids of knowledge because you are yet to experience them. The best thing you can do is make a balanced decision from what you do know, from how you do feel, and from what you do want. I think that Two of Swords is encouraging you to come to a decision when you feel sure within self. And that kind of leads me onto the Father of Cups. It feels like the situation is very much about you gaining more emotional maturity and getting to a point where you feel more in control of your path because you feel more in control of your emotions, how you feel, and how they are guiding you in the situation. I can see how this Father of Cups is also about using how you feel as a guiding light and not shying away from those feelings, even if they are heavier at times. Aside from that, there's a maturity and a certain level of wisdom that comes from being able to make actions and take actions, make decisions from your heart space. It's often overlooked as being naive and foolish, but actually being in tune empathetically and intuitively can be a very wise thing to do, and it can lead to opportunities that other people miss out on because they're being too practical or analytical, logical, rational, and pragmatic. With the Daughter of Wands reversed, I believe your last bit of advice has to do with saying yes to opportunities, staying open to opportunities, and trying not to forecast how a path may go, only because I think with the Daughter of Wands reversed, you have a lot of experience that you can draw upon from in terms of wisdom, but you also need to be aware of how we're always going to be students in this lesson called life, and we're always going to be able to absorb more, to grow more, to learn more. And I believe the Daughter of Wands reversed is a case of someone thinking that they know what's going to happen before it has actually happened. What you don't see coming is there's a lot more potential ahead for you. There's a lot more opportunity, especially when it comes to creativity and creating something for yourself in this lifetime and really maximizing your creative potential. So please continue to say yes and try not to forecast how things may fall apart based on past experiences. So that's really what I'm seeing for you, group 2, when it comes to what you don't see coming for you. I'm going to end your reading on YouTube and take this into the extended reading on my website now, where we will focus more on what you don't see coming in love specifically. If you would like to join me there, the link is in the description box. It's all ready to go when you are. If you are an Amethyst Hermie and a member of my website, you will have access to all the extended readings in today's video, so make sure you take advantage of that. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me, for your energy, for your support, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi Group 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal Tower, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to put your crystal tower over there. Now, before we get into it, let me just remind y'all why we're all here. We're going to be asking Spirit today, what don't you see coming? What is currently being hidden from you that could be changing your life and your path very, very soon? So, as you can see, I have pre-shuffled some cards. Excuse me, we're going to cover this topic in the YouTube portion of today's reading, but there will also be an extended reading. So if this does resonate, if this reading resonates, then you're more than welcome to join me in the extended reading, which will be on my website, where we'll be having a look at what you don't see coming about your love life. Now, your group is really interesting. As you know, I chose rose quartz for all groups, but I can definitely feel connections for this group, a strong sense of connections. So I'm curious to get into your reading. Let's get your cards out and let's start seeing what you don't see coming. Your first card over here is a new gown, which is the number 18. And unlike the other two groups, you actually got 2 cards from this beautiful deck. We also have Sacred Soul Sister, the number 37. I don't take reversals in this deck, so we're gonna flip those the right way. You also have no, wait, postpone, say no. So if you did ask yourself a yes or no question as you clicked on this video, that could be your answer. We also have protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. And then from this beautiful deck, we have binary star, and I do take reversals in this deck. We also have multiverse. Wow, Spirit reminding you that your soul family is very large. This group is definitely about connection, maybe even seeking purpose through connections. I feel like I need to turn this little background music down a little bit. I feel like I need to remind this group, I need to wipe my nose too. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit of a mess. I need to remind this group that when you come into life and living, when you reincarnate, and your energy becomes human, the possibilities for connection are limitless. And obviously, some connections feel more meaningful than others, but what you don't see coming is an opportunity to really pull your energy back away from something that hasn't been as meaningful as it once was or as you thought it could be, in order to make room for new connections, plural. I can see more than one connection being forged in your life, Group 3, and there is a strong sense of belonging within doing this, because at the back of this deck, we have Soul Tribe. So I do feel like with this card, as you pull your energy back and away from things that aren't actually fulfilling anymore or that don't offer you that sense of belonging or purpose that they once did, you grant yourself the room to really embrace what could be. I feel like a lot of you may be struggling with loss or a sense of grief as well, because I am seeing a hint here of feeling like you're missing your special someone, or feeling like someone who matters to you is not with you currently. Now, before we delve into a physical person who is still living, I do have another message for this group from someone who has since passed. There is an energy here of a spirit who no longer has a living body, who still watches over you, group 3. They have a very caring energy about them, but I don't think that makes them necessarily feminine for all of you. I think that this person is just very invested in your success and very invested in you not feeling lonely, and making sure that you do surround yourself with an abundance of opportunities to connect with other people. This energy is mostly worried about how much time you've been spending alone, group 3. And they want you to find the people that align with your energy, even if it's as simple as people who share common interests, people who can kind of pass time in a similar way by talking or wanting to talk about similar things, people who inspire you to be the person that you want to be. There is a strong feeling here of them wanting you to go out there and meet more people. It feels like this has to do with travel, or you kind of following through with a plan that you may have set for yourself, group 3, because I am seeing that in your current circumstances, it's not going to be possible to meet the people that you deserve to come into contact with. This energy also is comforting because they want you to know that they watch out for you a lot. They warn you about things. They encourage you to do things. They're always there, and I feel like they're a part of a bigger group of your soul family, but they're always there, and they're trying to encourage you to call back your power and to cut your cords from things that have not been helpful to your journey. The strong feeling of trying to create room for a multiverse opportunity, which ultimately means the opportunity for so many more possibilities. I do want to read some messages from the guidebook now for this group, because these cards are very beautiful, but they're also very detailed and in-depth. And I do firmly believe, group 3, that you have messages from the Rumi Oracle Guidebook, as well as the Cosmos Oracle Guidebook. So let's start with the new gown. Actually, I want to start with Sacred Soul Sister. Thank you, Spirit. 37. There is a valid point of view that we travel this path of our life journey alone. Our deepest descents into the psyche happen alone. We meet death alone, and we come into the world alone. And yet there is a vaster perspective that we are never alone, and that it would be impossible to really be alone. We are connected to all of life, and there is no such thing as being alone in reality, only in limited and temporary perception. When you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. When you are conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. So this Sacred Soul Sister card is really encouraging connection. I believe what you don't see coming is a beautiful sense of union and peace amongst those around you, and a strong sense of people having your back and supporting you, and also trying to show you that you are worthy and that you are someone who matters. Let's have a look at 18, a new gown. By the way, I will be getting more in-depth predictions of what you don't see coming. We're going to get tarot for that, but the oracle cards do paint a picture of the general themes that you can expect. So a new gown. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free when I tasted the sweetness of love. My spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life, while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with light. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one, for my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me." See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness. Love embraced my spirit, and all my doubts vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. Love offered me the power of new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hand. There's a lot of warmth in your cards, if I'm honest with you. Like, it's really hitting my heart space, not just my heart chakra, but like my actual heart. Whew. So the rest that I want to read to you is that this card comes to you with sacred portent. You are fast approaching a moment of a great leap, an evolutionary shift on your spiritual path. Your sense of yourself and your divine identity is about to be revealed and realized in a way more potent than ever before. This is wonderful. It is a divine happening. You must allow it. Do not confuse humility with humiliation. Do not humble yourself excessively. You do not have to battle with false pride either. Simply honor yourself as a living being, worthy of life, worthy of this royal path of divine realization. So I do firmly believe that this new gown energy is beyond simply getting new clothes. The energy of this light is actually about divine realization and embracing a new path. I feel a new path opening for you, so I'm curious what tarot has to say about that. It feels like a lot of that comes from self-acceptance, self-love, and self-realization in terms of what you deserve and how you can embrace better opportunities in your present as well. Because when we ground ourselves in a self-realization sort of energy and we're present and we're aware of what we're capable of in that moment, we are more attuned to the best opportunity. We are more likely to seize the best possible outcomes. So I do need to unfortunately read a few more things for you. I know the reading can be boring and you guys probably want some very specific predictions. We are getting there, I promise. Let's have a look at what Binary Star needs to say to you first, and then we can progress forward. What is Binary Star trying to say? That's interesting. I heard separation is an illusion. Separation is an illusion. You can't lose what you always have. So love is something that surrounds you. Love is something that never ends. If you allow yourself to emit love, you find love in everything. And I know that that sounds really silly and that sounds very hoodoo voodoo spiritual, new age spirituality, whoa. But the truth of the matter is, in every given situation, and I've had to recently realize this as well, you can always choose love, even when you are being tested to your limits and to a point where it would be so easy to react with malice. Choosing love, especially love for self and self-worth, will always create more opportunities of love for you to receive love and to give love. So this Binary Star is the Stars in Harmony card. Binary stars form part of the same system. One orbits the other. There is mutual understanding and they share the same path. So the thing about this card is that it is in reverse. So I feel like for a lot of you, what you don't see coming is a separation in order to focus more on self, in order to attune more with self identity as well as your own needs in general. Let's have a look at this multiverse card now, and then we can get some more specific predictions out for y'all. I feel like I'm running out of time with you. It's very bizarre because I'm not, but I feel like I am. So some of you may be feeling like impatient or as though there is a timing issue and you're running out of time, because there's a strong pressure in my chest and I keep apologizing for having to do what I came here to do. So it's very interesting. That might be something that resonates as like confirmation that you picked the right group. But let's have a look at this multiverse card now. This card says, allow yourself to go beyond. The explosion that set the universe in motion did not just create one, but an infinite number of them. Okay. Cosmic particles form the earth, the water, the colors, and the plants. The universe expands and projects the diverse exterior that your body grants. This card encourages you to go beyond this belief system, to see the birth of multiverses around you. Bright opportunities, millions of stages, multiverses are for all ages. This is very interesting. With it reversed, you may be actually, if you are confused, sweet soul, if you're feeling like life is limitless and that's kind of oppressing at the moment because I don't know what to do with myself, I don't know which way to go forward, I don't know what my best possible outcome is, I don't know this, I don't know that. What you don't see coming is that there is a divine plan for you, and you saying no because you're protecting yourself, and you saying yes to love and trying to seek community within a place of safety and sanctuary is what is going to help align you with an outcome that is very well aligned to your energy. And I feel like I'm still being very general, so let's see what tarot can say for you. But I can see how something is working out for you in a way where you may have thought that there were too many unknown variables. You may have thought that you had no control, and you may have felt like you had no control. You may have felt powerless. You may have felt like there was just too much room for possibilities, to the point where it was confusing you and stressing you out, or making you feel very alone and unsure of where your path ahead follows. But I definitely see a new path opening for you. Spirit, please tune me into Group 3's energy. What doesn't Group 3 see coming? Your first card is Death. For new beginnings, we must have endings. What doesn't Group 3 see coming? Your second card is the Four of Cups reversed, the chance to claim what you felt was a missed opportunity and to seize the day on something that is running out of time. The Knight of Swords, an opportunity to reflect before you take action and then decide very carefully how you want to move forward. We also have the Eight of Pentacles, working very hard on something that you want so badly, mastering your path and feeling more confident in what lies ahead. An opportunity to really reap what you sow. The Three of Swords, a difficult conversation that helps steer you in the right direction. The back of the deck, I can see the High Priestess. So what you don't see coming is that your story is definitely still being written. Nothing is set in stone for the High Priestess to be here. A lot can change based on your actions and your choices in the next days, let alone in the coming weeks. I definitely see an ending with the Death card. I see the Death card as a moment of transformation, but it may not feel like that initially. It could feel like you're just dealing with an ending or a loss. What I am seeing, though, is that from this ending comes a newfound appreciation to stay present and to be more aware of your feelings and what you want based on what your heart is telling you. You're going to want to seize an opportunity because it may be a distraction initially, but it is also something that actually makes you very, very happy. What you don't see coming is that what you thought you had missed out on is going to give you the opportunity to seize it. It feels like it's a last minute thing, though. I'll be honest, it feels like it's been waiting for you to claim it, and now you have the ability to reach forward and go, yes, that's what I want. But with the Knight of Swords reversed, I just feel Group 3, like this whole situation has a lot to do with what you say and how you say it, and what you do and how you do it. I want you to know that your path is very mutable right now. It's very changeable. Your actions are very important. Your communication is very important. You will have the ability to pause, reflect, and think about what you want to do. But I can also see that through this pause, anything that wasn't going to take initiation is going to be removed. So if you're dealing with a situation in which you were waiting for someone else to take action, by you kind of taking the back seat, I feel like choices are going to be made in which some things will fall away. And it almost feels like where you thought you had 5 options, you will only have 2. So I don't see that as a bad thing. With the Eight of Pentacles being here, I feel like you have the opportunity to work really hard on a goal that you've really wanted. And this looks like practical work. It doesn't look like you just kind of going in planning mode and theorizing and strategizing. This is you actually physically getting experience and making progress on something that you've really wanted to do for a while now. That being said, the Three of Swords is foreshadowing a difficult conversation that you need to have about the future. It's also talking about you clarifying things mentally through communication and having the opportunity to talk to someone about what you want. You do have to be honest, and you also have to listen. So the Three of Swords is sometimes sometimes seen as a sorrow card or a card that inflicts pain, because by being honest, we often say things that other people don't want to hear, but it is the truth. So I feel like what you don't see coming is a truthful, honest conversation that will change the path forward for you. I do want to get some clear, honest advice for you now to close your reading. What is the advice for my group 3s when it comes to what they don't see coming? For you, I want to do things differently, because I feel like each of these cards represents a different path in terms of what's happening as you move forward. So I want to get advice for each of the cards. Starting with this 3 of Swords. What is the advice for group 3 when they're met with this difficult conversation? We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords reversed. Spirit saying be honest with the 8 of Swords reversed. Don't play the victim, but also don't allow the silence to martyr you. Make sure you say what you need to say, and you use this conversation as an opportunity to liberate and free yourself, because some of you may have felt trapped in this situation. The other reason why we have the 10 of Pentacles here actually is because your advice is very much about thinking ahead and looking at the kind of lifestyle you want to lead, at the kind of future you want to have, at the goals you want to achieve. This isn't about what's going to happen next week and in 3 months. This is about the next 2 years, the next 5 years. What is that going to look like? So keep that in mind when you have this discussion. What about the 8 of Pentacles? What is the advice for group 3 with the 8 of Pentacles? We have the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Get your priorities straight. The thing about working hard towards a goal is that you need to set your priorities before you start taking action. Otherwise, you're going to waste energy and burn energy in unnecessary ways. Spirit is saying get your priorities straight and stop trying to do everything at once. Just focus on what you actually want to build, on what you actually want to master, on what you actually want to gain in terms of experience or progress. Focus on that and get your priorities straight. That message has come out a lot. I don't know if it's the Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius's energy is so progressive when it wants to be, when it's excited, when it's engaged. So maybe in order to embrace this opportunity to progress, you really need to stay focused and to not distract yourself with unnecessary things. I want to move forward. What is this Knight of Swords? What is the energy and advice for the Knight of Swords? Reversed. Spirit wants to show us the 5 of Cups. It is showing up as a blocked card, but I want to show it to you in the reverse because we don't have to stay stuck. The thing about pausing is it can be something that you choose to do in order to gain perspective and in order to clarify your logical way of thinking. But I also think for this Knight of Swords to be reversed, that when you're faced with this opportunity to rest and evaluate what you want to do before you take action, make sure that you think of the outcome in an optimistic way, in a way of, well, how can I ensure my happiness moving forward? Not from a place of pessimism and the worst case scenario, I can do this, worst case scenario, I'll do that, but more so from a frame of mind of what can I do to ensure my happiness? What makes me happy? What can I do to gain more joy, to gain more happiness? And then that will tell you what actions and what steps you need to take next, and potentially what you need to say when you have this difficult conversation. Let's get advice for this 4 of Cups. That was quick. I might only take this card. We have the 2 of Wands in the reverse position and the Mother of Cups, Father of Cups. Oh my days. So this 4 of Cups reversed is about seizing an opportunity, a moment, and trying to do so because your heart is in the right place, because this is what you want emotionally. The thing about this is, for the 2 of Wands to come out reverse, Spirit is saying when you go to seize your emotional opportunities, or when you go to seize an opportunity for the sake of your emotional well-being, do so because it's the only thing that you want, not because it's your backup option, not because it's the only thing that's left, not because the road that you tried to go down failed, if that's the only reason you're choosing to do this, you need to actually stop and really think about what's going to make you happy, because you have more choices than that if that's the case. Now, with the Father of Cups being at the back of the deck, some of y'all do need way more time considering where your feelings are and where you stand emotionally in a situation, because I can see some of you needing to end a connection or needing to emotionally distance yourself from someone, and then I can also see others of you missing someone that you may have accidentally emotionally distanced yourself from. So in order to make sure that you're investing in the right connections moving forward, you really need to ground yourself in your emotions and become more aware of how you are feeling about the people around you and where you stand emotionally for the people around you. Don't just fall back into connections because they are your backup options, because there's nothing else going on. Is that connection actually something that makes you happy? Does that person bring you joy? Do they fulfill your emotional needs? Now let's have a look at this Death card. What is the advice with this Death card? So remember, the Death card was saying that there is an ending in order to transform that you don't see coming. Your advice is the Six of Pentacles, equal give and take. Make sure that you are reciprocating and not just instigating on a one-way street. I do feel like Group 3, this is talking about balancing things out for you and kind of bringing back to the mentality, at least to a situation that is in need of repair. That the situation is also transactional and that you should not overstep, but you shouldn't also over expect. Make sure that you're giving as much as you're receiving and that you're receiving as much as you're giving. As this situation transforms, there is a clear ending, and make sure that through the ending you are balancing out this energy and that you are repaying any karmic debts, you're saying your piece, and that you are maybe appropriately building the situation for the outcome that you want, because I can see the Death card as an opportunity to transform a situation from a full stop into a ... if that makes sense, so that you're not just ending things there once and for all. Your advice with the Ace of Wands reversed is very much about trying to make sure that you don't get heavily involved in something that you don't want, because I do see the Ace of Wands card as something that is a false start energy, cancelled plans. Sometimes it is a rebirth moment, but it is very much about where your desire and lies and what kind of expectations you have over an opportunity that has once passed you by. You could potentially pick it back up and try to rekindle that spark if you're still interested in cultivating something. But remember, aces aren't promises, they are opportunities. So if you do want something from this ace, it may take a lot of work. Otherwise, make sure that you aren't leaving energy in things that have passed their expiration date. Make sure you're freeing yourself up for the community and the connections that you deserve. So Group 3, that is what I'm seeing for you when it comes to what you do not see coming. I'm going to take this into the extended reading now, where we will have a look at what you don't see coming in love, focusing on romance and love specifically. If you would like to join me in that extended reading, the link is in my description box. All of those readings will be on my website. If you are an Amethyst Hermie member on my website, you will automatically have access to all of the extended readings in today's video, so make sure you enjoy and take advantage of that. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time, energy, support right here on YouTube. It has been a pleasure to read for you, Group 3. I hope Spirit and I were able to give you the answers you were seeking. If anything did not resonate 100%, please don't let it take from you. Enjoy the rest of your day or night whenever you are seeing this, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye!